Between aging and busy lifestyles, many women struggle with maintaining their physical and mental wellness. At Aquavita Concierge Healthcare Services for Women, we can help you revitalize your health and reclaim your life. We start from within by balancing your hormones, allowing your body to achieve and maintain desired weight goals. We also specialize in peptide therapies, regenerative medicine, sexual health, and aesthetics in our state-of-the-art facilities. Feel better, look better, live better. At Aquavita, visit aquavitality.com and begin your journey today.
Lean on us.
We are here for you.
You matter.
You are not alone.
Are you feeling overwhelmed? Not sure where to turn? The National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there for you 24/7. Call or text 988 or chat at 988sc.org. Whether you're having an emergency or you know someone who needs support now, they can help you take the next step towards finding hope and healing.
There is hope. 988sc.org.
Well, hello, my paranormal peeps. My name is Matt Harvey. I am the founder and lead investigator of Deep Woods Paranormal. I am also the host of the Deep Woods Paranormal Podcast, along with my wife, Amanda. We investigate everything said to be paranormal. Ghosts, Bigfoot, UFOs, crypto creatures, lake monsters. You name it, we basically investigate it if it's paranormal nature. So, today, I wanted to talk about something that I really love. We were just in Florida, and Florida is known for their lighthouses and stuff like that. In fact, it's said to have one of the most haunted lighthouses out there. So I wanted to kind of look at that with you guys. Excuse me as I move just a little bit here. So I wanted to talk to you about that and talk to you about why I find lighthouses so fascinating. There's just a lot of energy that goes into running those places. You get lighthouse keepers that they basically spend their life there. They break their backs, they break their bodies, trying to keep the lighthouse going. And some of them are out in the middle of the water, and they just get pounded by waves and storms and stuff like that. And then the lighthouse keepers have to ride all that out. Well, all that energy just gets stored up in that location, in my opinion. It just basically builds and builds and builds, and then over time releases a little bit here and there, and could possibly cause people to see what we call I lost my train of thought. Anyways, residual haunts. And a residual haunt is just like a rerun in history. You might see a lighthouse keeper open the door and walk through and then just disappear. Or you might see a lighthouse keeper walking up the steps to the light. Or you might see somebody up there cleaning the light. Stuff like that. That's kind of residual. What we're looking for is more of an intelligent haunt, meaning that the entity or entities there can comprehend what we're talking about and communicate back with us in some way, whether it's recording an audio session, asking questions and listening back for answers that we know we didn't make, be it they call that an EVP, where it's just a voice that you don't hear when you're recording. And then we're looking for intelligence to see if I ask, are you a lighthouse keeper? And it says yes, then I know, or it says no. Maybe it's not a lighthouse keeper. Maybe it's just somebody that worked there on the grounds. Maybe they died on the grounds. But we're looking for information. We're looking to find out who's actually there, why they're there, and can we help them in any way? And a lot of lighthouse keepers loved their jobs. They just loved what they did. So they essentially spent years and years either with their family there or away from their family, taking care of these locations all the way up to like the 1970s and 80s, I believe, maybe a little earlier. Most of them were not automated. They had to have somebody physically there to wipe the windows, up on the top where the light was. Manage the light, make sure the lights were working. Clean the lenses, the glass lenses that went all the way around that projected the light out. They needed to make sure the power was up and running so the light would turn at night so sailors could see, hey, don't come in here. And then, of course, they had their skirmishes usually and stuff like that. Most of the time, there was more than one lighthouse keeper at a location. And I'm sure most of them got along, had a great time. But some of them probably didn't. I've read several stories of lighthouse keepers getting into fights and arguments and disagreeing about how to do something, fix something. And so timbers flare and that energy gets left there too sometimes. Again, that's not residual. That's just it's just an energy left on the building. So you might walk into that spot and just feel anger if you're a sensitive or a clairvoyant or whatever. You might feel like somebody argued here. You might feel like there was somebody was upset. You might feel all these different things. And that is part of the paranormal. Not everybody picks up on that. Very few do. But that's more of the sensitive side. Amanda and I kind of keep to the more of the scientific side. What can we prove? And what can we show you guys that we've actually physically documented where we can say that couldn't be anything else but. And again, I say that all the time, but apply that to ghost, a UFO, a Bigfoot, or whatever. It wasn't just, I think I heard something or I thought I saw something. And with ghosts, that might be a little different. So I am actually not using my green screen today. You can see behind me, there's two dolls that are so said to be haunted. That whole table has a lot of entity and things that are attached to them. But if you watch the hallway, if you're watching this video on YouTube, Deep Woods Paranormal, you'll see what looked like a shadow go by basically just outside the door, and it would actually be to my left. Let's see, if I walked out there, it would be to my left towards the bathroom. That's a normal occurrence here. The entities here basically just love to get attention every once in a while. I think they really like it when I'm in the office. And the two dolls, whatever's attached to the two dolls, seems to really like basically being able to talk through the spirit box, or sometimes I do EVP sessions. And when you're listening back to this, basically, there might be words or other things in here. You might hear my name. I hear my name all the time when I'm reviewing audio for the podcast. But just listen. If you have a chance, maybe scroll back and listen again, because you might hear something. My house is not haunted. It's not really active, but there are some entities here that come and go. They seem to be the most active when I'm here. So anyways, as Amanda said, I'm haunted myself. But anyways, let's get back to lighthouses. I just wanted to say something because I saw a shadow. So if you're watching the video and you happen to see over my left shoulder here, by the dolls out the door there, you might see a shadow or two move by. They're usually about child size, maybe 3 or 4 feet tall, maybe a little taller. They kind of dance around back there. And I think those might be the entities that are attached to the doll. Okay, so getting back to lighthouses. There's a lot of energy left on these places. These guys and gals that worked in these lighthouses all the way from the late 1800s to the early 1900s, sometimes all the way to the mid 1900s. It was all manual labor. Essentially, they were working their butts off. Everything they did, they had to basically fend for themselves on everything. And then, of course, cook their own meals and all that stuff. So there was a lot of energy left there. I would imagine if a big storm came in, they probably were terrified. Is the lighthouse going to hold up? They have waves crashing halfway up a 40 or 50 foot lighthouse, and probably sound like an earthquake every time it hit. but just depends on the location. There was a location we went to, or we went by. We didn't get the chance to go in because they are very specific about that. Let me share my screen with you. So let's go here. All right, so I'm going to share this with you guys. This is the Pensacola Lighthouse and Maritime Museum. Unfortunately, to get here, you have to have a booking. Unless you're military and you have military clearance, I believe this is on some kind of a military base or in a military area, and you can't basically get in there. But this is a pretty good deal. If you live in the Pensacola area, this lighthouse has been on Ghost Hunters, I think, twice. I think Ghost Adventures did this too, and I'm not sure what other shows did it. But I've had the pleasure of going into a couple lighthouses and having a couple experiences, and I'll talk about that in just a second here. But basically, the Travel Channel, Ghost Hunters, different psychics and clairvoyants have been here and had experiences that they could say it wasn't anything else but a ghost. And so basically, it was built back in 1869. It's called the Keeper's Quarters. So basically that's where they take people in. But again, if you're not military, you have to let them know you cannot just drive onto the lighthouse. You have to actually get picked up by a van, supposedly a shuttle bus. But if I remember, Jason and Grant saw what looked like a shadow person, like going up the stairs towards the lighthouse itself. And also they picked up some stuff. I think they got a thermal image inside this place of a ghost. I'll have to go back and watch this episode. Now I'm curious, but I'm also a big Ghost Hunters fans. I've met Jason and Grant. They're amazing people. I've met several people within the organization. Again, we were a TAPS family member team, so we got to work with TAPS quite often when we lived in California and around the California Ghost Hunters. We handled several cases for them and stuff like that, and they basically taught us how to investigate and stuff like that the right way. So I'm not going to get into that. You can listen to my other episodes if you want to hear more about that, because I want to stay on this. But they have different types of events that they do. You can just go tour the lighthouse if you're not interested in ghosts. And you can do a ghost hunt. Looks like there's 2 different ghost hunts. Looks like there's a Halloween ghost hunt, which might be really cool. And then they have the Blue Angels that fly around there. My dad's lucky enough now to be close enough to see the Blue Angels practice. And you can go out there and watch the Blue Angels practice, which is cool. So, yeah, definitely a place I would like to get into. Would love to check this place out. I think I talked to somebody else about it, and they said they went and they had a really cool experience out here in Pensacola. And the only reason I'm talking about Pensacola, Florida, is because we just visited there. My dad lives pretty close to there, and we were kind of, as we were driving through from Texas to Florida, we drove through, of course, all of the Bigfoot territory in Texas. I got a big chunk of it. We also drove through Bigfoot territory in Louisiana. And then also, well, I don't really think Alabama. Alabama, we drove through a very small section of Alabama, the very bottom portion of it. So we didn't really have there weren't a lot of places out there that had Bigfoot reports. But as I looked around, it was just like forested areas everywhere and big thickets of forest. I didn't really do too much on my phone to look up the Google maps to see if I could see if there's any other Bigfoot reports in that area. I know Alabama has them further up away from the coast. And then as we got into Florida, we were wanting to go out and do a what is it called? It's called a I'm sorry, I'm brain farting right now. So we went out to Florida to look for the skunk ape. That's what we were looking for. And unfortunately, because of other things going on and visiting with family and stuff like that, That was our primary reason for going there. And we actually didn't get a chance to go down to the woods or anything like that. What was interesting is my dad said he lives on an island out there, and he was saying there were black bears out there of all different shapes and sizes. And he said his neighbor had seen them and stuff like that. And so as I did with my research, and you can go back and watch the last podcast or listen to it, about our trip to Florida, we definitely looked into places to go around my dad's house, but there wasn't a whole lot of reports. I mean, I couldn't find really much of anything in the Pensacola area. It is a little more civilized now, and I mean, it's forested area. There definitely could be Bigfoots out there, or skunk apes, I'm sorry. But we didn't encounter anything. So our research is going to switch over now more to Bigfoot research. We're going to be trying to do more documentaries and doing more research into that. We're in the process of setting up 3 or 4 expeditions here in the future with other Bigfoot witnesses and Bigfoot researchers. So that'll be cool. If you're on our YouTube channel, or if you haven't subscribed yet, please go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. We're going to be changing the way we do things a little bit to try and make it a little more exciting. Because right now we focus just basically on trying to get evidence, and sometimes you'll get our reactions, sometimes you won't. We're working on trying to get a camera person to follow us around so you can see more of what's going on, not just with us, but maybe you'll get a chance to see something happen out in the woods as well. Maybe a Bigfoot gets caught on camera. I don't know. It's very hard to do. So that's the future. That's where we're going. We're going to be heading out into that direction. Okay, so let's talk about 2 other lighthouses. There's a lighthouse in San Diego. Itself is down by a military base. I don't want to get into too many details.
Between aging and busy lifestyles, many women struggle with maintaining their physical and mental wellness. At Aquavita Concierge Healthcare Services for Women, we can help you revitalize your health and reclaim your life. We start from within by balancing your hormones, allowing your body to achieve and maintain desired weight goals. We also specialize in peptide therapies, regenerative medicine, sexual health, and aesthetics in our state-of-the-art facilities. Feel better, look better, live better at Aquavita. Visit aquavitality.com and begin your journey today.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Because I don't want to get in trouble. But anyways, a friend of mine and we got invited down there. And this is a long time ago. This is when I first started. We had a K2 meter. And it was not the one, they didn't have the switches on the K2s at that point. They were basically, we didn't even know you could put a penny in. Otherwise, we would have. It was basically push the button down and hold it. And I don't know if you've ever done that, but after about 5 to 10 minutes, your thumb starts to get really, really sore. So I'm so glad Jason and Grant came up with the idea of putting a penny in there. But yeah, so that's what we did. We were walking around with that. My friend I had a camera in my hand, and we were just trying to document anything we saw. And we were walking around. He's a skeptic. I'm a believer in ghosts. And as we started to walk around, we had no activity, and there was other people around. And so we were being really careful about getting too close to anything electrical or cell phone wise or anybody else. We were trying to kind of stay away from everybody. When we got up to the light on the second floor, this was not a super duper tall lighthouse. There was essentially, I think a ladder or something. And so essentially that's what we did. We went back up the ladder and went into the upstairs and ended up, hold on a second. There we go. All right, that's what I was trying to do. All right, so I was just trying to get my screen back on to the normal page with my camera so you can see me. So we walked around this lighthouse for, I don't know what it was, 10, 15 minutes and had no K2 hits. And we both looked at each other like, okay, this place isn't haunted. There's no activity here at all. And so we were, as I said that, the K2 just lit all the way up and stayed lit up. I'm like, are you releasing the button? He's like, no. I could see how red his thumb was. And he had been holding it down for about a half an hour, which I felt sorry for him. But yeah, he had been holding that down for like a half an hour. And essentially, all of a sudden, it just starts lighting up. And I said, are you a lighthouse keeper? After it went back down to one light. And it basically lit back up again. If you don't know what a K2 meter is, let me explain what it is. It's a very sensitive EMF detecting device, originally used for finding dog wires under the ground. They used to have those collars that would shock a dog if you had placed a wire under the ground and turned it on with I think it took a battery. I don't think it took an actual plug-in. As they crossed that boundary, they would give them a little shock. Well, they needed a way to find those dog wires, so they came up with the K2s. So the wires did not give off very much energy. That's why the K2s are so sensitive. A guy named Chris Fleming basically used that on investigation. You can go watch that show on Ghost Hunters. And after that, we actually met Chris Fleming on the Queen Mary along with Jason and Grant and other people, and we had a good conversation with them. We bought one. I bought my very first one. That was the one I bought from Chris Fleming on the Queen Mary. So I still have that K2, by the way. It's kind of retired now because I don't like to put a penny in there anymore. It doesn't really fit. I have to use a quarter, and a lot of the time it ends up underneath. I have to take it all apart and pull it back out. So anywho, we have the ones now that have the push button. So he's sitting there holding this K2 down, his thumb on the K2, and I can tell he's having a hard time. And that's when whatever it was started communicating with us. And we didn't have an audio recorder. It was too loud to record audio, but I was recording video and I was trying to document what was going on. I think I had an old Sony Handycam in my hand, and we were asking questions, and it would actually answer our questions. And so we left the upstairs where the light was and came back down to the main level, and it kind of followed us a little bit. But we did ask, are you a lighthouse keeper? And it lit up for yes. Are you happy? And it lit up for yes. It seemed like he was still doing, we asked if you're male or female, and it said it was a male. And whoever it was seemed like they were very happy doing the work that they've been doing for years. So, yeah, we left that place after that and unfortunately never went back. We tried to set up a full investigation, but anything having to do with the government and lighthouses and stuff like that, they don't really respond very well sometimes to requests for investigations. It takes a lot of money, and you have to be not well known. You have to be like a TV show. Otherwise, they won't let you in. And then after that, that kind of breaks down the barrier. But now being an LLC, Deep Woods Productions, I think we might have an easier time getting into some of these locations that other people can get into, just because we can bring them revenue and we can do stuff like that. I apologize for the dogs barking in the background. All right, so the last lighthouse I want to talk about, this was in Maine, and I may have told this story before, or Amanda may have told this story before, but I just, like I said, I love lighthouses. Everywhere Amanda and I go, if there's a lighthouse, we try and go in and check it out. Not just for the ghosts, but I love the history of them. I just think they're an amazing place. I would live in a lighthouse if I could. So, one on land, on mainland, that's accessible, easily accessible. Let's put it that way. And there's a lot of said to be haunted lighthouses out there, most by the people that work there. Unfortunately, there's a lot of accidents that happened at lighthouses. People died. It wasn't all that safe back in the day. People would slip on the stairs, or fall down the ladders, hit their heads, or fall to their death from the top of the lighthouses, or fall on the rocks and get dragged into the ocean by the waves and stuff like that. So it was a very dangerous job, and the lighthouse keepers that did it were just very brave. It was very secluded, and a lot of time you spent a lot of time by yourself. You got to remember, back in those days, they didn't have TV. All they had was a book, and some of the lighthouses didn't even have power. They had to use kerosene and stuff like that, lanterns, to light the lights and stuff like that every night. And they had some kind of automated system that turned the light so that it would shine out for the sailors to make sure they were protected. Anyways, we went to Maine. Amanda and I and my family, we went to Maine. This is, got to be 20 some odd years ago. And we were RVing, and I guess Amanda and I wanted to go check out, I think we had our own car for some reason. We wanted to go check out the lighthouse, and everybody else didn't. So they went and did something else. But as Amanda and I got there, they're like, oh, well, just be careful. The power's out. It's been out for a couple hours. The Coast Guard's on the way. We don't know what's going on. So we're walking around. I didn't have any equipment with me. I did have my phone. I didn't realize back in the day, that even with a flip phone, you could probably record audio. But this is back when cell phones were just starting to come out, and the technology wasn't that great. And so there wasn't a lot of stuff you could do with them. But anyway, so we were walking around downstairs, and we were just enjoying everything and having a good time, and listening to the people talk about the lighthouse and history and stuff like that. And we went upstairs, and as we got upstairs, I felt something. I just start getting these, I don't want to say voices in my head, but messages. I'm here. You need to let them know I'm here. And I just thought I was going nuts, so I just ignored it. Back in the day, I could hear spirits like they were you and me. I mean, their voices were super clear. Since then, I've kind of shut myself off, and just because of what I deal with on a daily basis, I deal with demons on a daily basis. So essentially, I battle demons on a daily basis, and I help others battle demons, just to clarify that. So anyways, we got to the second floor. I start hearing a male voice talking to me, and I just ignored it. And I finally told the man, I'm like, there's somebody here. And she just looked at me and laughed. And I'm like, no, there's somebody here. And she just, okay, whatever. So we went downstairs, and we always stopped and got some kind of magnet, or I think I used to collect shot glasses. And so we wanted something that said we'd been there. I think we still have that magnet today, to be honest with you. So we're down there, and it's cash only because the registers aren't working. And we're checking out, and there's a couple girls behind the counter, and it's really busy, pretty loud. And out of my mouth, I didn't say this, it just blurted out. I said, there's a lighthouse keeper here who wants you to know he's okay and he's here. And now this could be complete coincidence. I'm getting chills as I'm talking to you, all down my arms, all down my legs, like something's saying that's exciting or whatever. Anyways, as I said that, all the power comes back on. And it was weird because they had 2 generators. They had to make sure that was on during the nighttime because it was a dangerous area for ships. And so they were explaining what was going on. They're like, it's really weird. Our normal power went out, and then our backup generator went out. It's got gas. They've checked everything. They've taken it apart, put it back together. There doesn't seem to be anything wrong with it. It just won't run. And so for the power to come back on like that was really interesting. Now, I can't claim credit for it. I'm just saying, you have your own opinion. For me, I just think it was a spirit talking through me. I don't know how that happened, but it was kind of a cool experience. Because I said that, did the power come back on? I don't know. I have no proof of this. This is just a cool story that I like to tell, and I let people form their own opinions. And that's what I want you guys to do. I want you to have your own opinion on the paranormal. Just because you're listening to me and you're hearing my stories doesn't mean you should go and totally believe. You have to have your own experience with whatever it is before you should fully believe. I'm not going to tell you not to believe, but don't fully believe. Form your own opinions. And when you're reviewing stuff, take a look at it. And if it looks like it's real, then you probably have something. If it looks like it's been CGI'd or whatever, which unfortunately there's a lot of that these days, you might want to go, I don't know about that. So unfortunately, as people post things, I look at it and I'm going, oh, dude, why would you do that? Just giving us a bad name. Anyways, that's a completely different story. So yeah, that was really cool. The lighthouse lights and everything came back on. The light upstairs came back on, and the girl's like, oh my God, are you guys ghost hunters? And we said yes, because we at that point in time, we weren't doing homes or anything, but we were exploring said to be haunted places. We went and would stay in places that were like a hotel or whatever that was said to be haunted. B&Bs, back then they were known as something else, but bed and breakfast and stuff like that. We would stay purposely at those places to see if we could experience anything. And sometimes we did, sometimes we didn't. We had about a 50-50 chance. But yeah, so I don't want to say all lighthouses are haunted, but I think a small portion of them could still be holding keepers or people that live there or helpers or people that died there. I think they could possibly still be there. I think that they could still be working on the property. Maybe, just because we're not seeing them doesn't mean they're there. They're not there. But just interesting thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you did, please do us a favor. We are growing like crazy. We're meeting more and more fans, and we're so excited to meet people and hear their stories and stuff like that. In fact, we're going to have a couple of people onto our podcast that have had some Bigfoot reports, Bigfoot experiences, and then we're going to go out and investigate with those guys out in the location where they've had Bigfoot reports. And we're going to be doing other guests as well that also have had some Bigfoot reports. Or Bigfoot experiences, So stay tuned for that. If you like our podcast, please like and share on all of your social media. It only takes a second or two. It really helps us grow and continue to grow. The more we grow and the more popular this gets, the more shows we'll be doing. Unfortunately, lately, we've had just one thing after another happen, not only with work, but where they needed me early or whatever, something's going on, you got to come in and help us, or we had family issues or whatever, not issues, but family matters where we have to go stop what we're doing and go do something else or whatever. So a lot of cool stuff coming down the pike. I'm going to work on getting permission to enter that old cemetery. Again, I need to contact the city and find out if I need a permit or I need permission from certain people to start working on that, because I want to go back out there. Might do a camping trip out there if I'm allowed to, camp back behind the cemetery and just see what happens. We're going to be working with Joe again. We're going to be going out here in the next couple months to go out and investigate with him, not just his property, but we'll probably be camping along in several hot spots, he and I. And so we'll see what happens with that. And then we're also working with another group to go out and investigate different places where they're at. So a lot of Bigfoot. Wow. Look back for that if you're watching the podcast. There's no animals in the house right now. They're all outside. And that's why they're screaming. They're ready to come in. We appreciate you. And we'll catch you on the next one.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.